Hene and Tufuhima installed at New Akradi. UNICEF launches Tippy-Tap campaign to promote hand washing. And hello, you're live on GBC24 and GTV. This is News Hour. My name is Suyukwo Pakutre and I am Ufuyiwa Dako. In our first story, a chief and queen mother have been installed at the colorful Deba at the Akradi Hennes Palace at New Akradi in the Sujaman district of the Eastern region. New Akradi, which is the Nifa division of the Akwemi Paramountcy, installed the Ankobia Hene with the stool name Nana Kwabna Tinkwine and Tufuhima Abrewa Ifualako. The ceremony was witnessed by the First Lady, Mrs. Lodina Mahama, who is a friend to the Tufuhima. Mrs. Mahama encouraged her to carry out her duties with enthusiasm and dedication to bring positive change to her community, especially to women and children. History has it that the people of New Akradi were never born by any human being. Their ancestors are believed to have miraculously descended from the sky. It is believed that on a fateful Friday, a twin brass pan descended from the sky and landed on the island at Mojimoji at a place called Sikakubi. In each of the brass pans was male and female adults who were later called Abeju Kofi and Samanko Ifwa. The two later got married and had children, with their eldest son Oku becoming the chief of Akradi, making the stool name become Nana Oku Kata. The meaning of the stool name is one who descended from nowhere, not born, but came to overpower and spread his rule. The Tufuhima and Ankobia Hene stools are newly created to help in the enhancement of chieftaincy affairs in the area. The role of the Ankobia Hene is to stay behind at the palace while the chief and his subjects are out of the palace, especially during war. The Tufuhene and Tufuhima are in charge of the armory, where they are supposed to fire muskets during festive occasions. The Tufuhima Abrewa Ifualaku, known in private life as Madame Rose Hiene, has been a friend to the first family since 1989. The 57-year-old is a beauty consultant based in London in the UK. The First Lady, Mrs. Lodina Mahama, described her as an enterprising woman who has provided employment and training to many young people in the UK. She charged her to show fortitude, courage, selflessness and steadfastness in discharging her royal duties.
I want to tell Nana Lako to always show leadership capability by stepping in to hold the community together anytime there is a misunderstanding. Women in leadership positions have always acted as mediators, consultants, advisors, source of wisdom and uniting force.
The Ankobia Hene Nana Kwabna Tinkwine is a 33-year-old mechanic and is known in private life as Mr. Kujo Ajamai. They both took the oath of allegiance to the Akradi Hene Nana Oku Kata, pledging their subordination to him at all times. The chief of New Akradi, Nana Oku Kata, urged them to be loyal and dedicated to their duties and also seek the peace and development of the area. He also urged the people to support them to deliver their duties diligently. Nana Oku Kata advised Ghanaians to cherish peace and conduct themselves in a manner that will not create any chaos in this election period. The First Lady was accompanied by the Eastern Regional Minister, Mrs. Mavis Amafrim Pongati, her deputy, Mr. Joseph Tete Angmo, Chief Executive Officer of Intercity STC, and Mr. Samuel Nyamadonko. An alternative route at the Tema Motorway roundabout is to be constructed. When complete, it will ease traffic flow at the roundabout, especially during peak hours, and also reduce travel time for the movement of goods and services from the Tema Harbour. The Ministry of Roads and Highways, Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, and Meridian Port Services are in charge of the project.
We invite the Minister, the Honourable Minister, and the Chief of Ashama to unveil this plan to the people of Ghana.
The Accra-Tema motorway is an integral part of the national route linking the eastern corridor from Aflao to the western, through Elubo at the border with Cote d'Ivoire. The 7.32-lane dual-carriage concrete surfacing with 2 meters width bituminous surface dressed shoulders was a vision of Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The motorway is one of the busiest in the country, seeing users from all walks of life. The Tema motorway roundabout currently suffers from serious traffic bottlenecks which impede the movement of private and commercial vehicles within Tema and affect intercity commuters who use the roundabout when commuting to and from the Greater Accra region as well as the Eastern and Volta regions. This congestion also hinders the flow of cargo in and out of the port.
The ports discharge their cargo onto the road system. And it has been our concern that if the port expansion to proceed under the current road traffic system, that would be too bad. With the over 14 million or 15, 16 million metric tons that we discharge into the country, all of that, almost 99% is carried by road. It means if we do not do something until such time that the road line system is effective, there will be serious congestion on the road.
The project comes at such a time when the government is putting necessary structures in place to expand the Tema Harbour.
From these interventions, which have direct influence on the movement of goods and persons on the Accra-Tema motorway, there are other projects ongoing and planned which will further improve movement within the corridor and adjoining settlements like the East Legon, Ajiringano, and Spintex Road, flower port areas, and minimal. Indeed, you can talk about the Burma Camp to Flower Port Road, which is ongoing, the Teshin Link Road, which is under construction, the construction of slip roads in and out from the motorway to access the Flower Port Junction, which is also ongoing, the planned construction of a bridge over the motorway to take traffic from the Flower Port area into East Legon, and the planned construction of a bridge over the motorway from the end of the Teshin Link into Ajiringano. So we're looking at a comprehensive development of the areas surrounding the motorway in order to improve upon traffic flow.
The challenge on the Accra-Tema motorway, however, are busy intersections, one which is the Tema roundabout.
There is trucks and cranes and earth-moving equipment parked on the roadside. So basically the footprint of the expansion doesn't touch on anybody's property. And we are building within the right-of-way of Ghana Highway Authority.
Government says, as part of developing the corridor in phases, the Tema motorway roundabout will be replaced with a fully functional 3-tier interchange with support from the Japanese government. The project estimated at 28 million Ghana cedis.
We'll do some health now. Every year, 3.5 million children die from serious respiratory infections and diarrhea worldwide. This situation, according to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, can be reversed through a simple practice such as hand washing with soap and water. As Ghana joins the rest of the world to celebrate Global Hand Washing Today, UNICEF has launched a TP Tap campaign in 3,900 basic schools in the Volta region. The TP Tap is a simple device to promote hand washing. Report by Winifred Ifum.
Global Hand Washing Day is observed on the 15th of October annually to bring to the fore the benefits of hand washing with soap. The simple practice, according to health experts, must be practiced consistently at critical times, such as after using the toilet and before contact with food. This year, UNICEF, with sponsorship from Unilever Ghana, marked the day with the launch of a TP Tap campaign in Peje Anwe, a community situated between the Honuta Mountain, which forms part of the Akwapim Togo Range in the whole West District of the Volta region. The Volta Regional Director of Education, Mr. Mark Bwedi, encouraged school children and the community as a whole to make good use of the tipi taps. The National Coordinator of the School Health Education Program, SHEP, Nana Esiinkum, the Ngofia of Anwe, and the District Chief Executive of Whole West, Mr. Same Awade, encouraged the use of hand washing with soap as an affordable way to prevent diseases.
Hand washing with soap and running water prevents sicknesses.
The Chief of Water, Sanitation and Hygiene WASH of UNICEF, Mr. David Duncan, said the tipi tap approach will be beneficial for all.
In just 3 years, there's been a 20% increase in the households that are washing their hands in Volta. If we can build on this regionally and nationally, to a point where everybody is washing their hands with soap and water. There's 3,900 schools in Volta. Over 500,000 children in those schools, and that's what we're targeting with this program.
Togbe Asio welcomed the tipi taps in his community. A demonstration of how the tipi tap is built and used was done for all to see. Officers of Unilever were on hand to explain the hand washing technique. The tipi tap is operated by a foot lever to reduce the chances of bacterial infections. For GBC24, Winifred Efun, Peje.
Meanwhile, pupils of the airport police A and B basic schools have been educated on the effective and appropriate ways of washing hands to help prevent diseases. This year's hand washing day was marked with emphasis on effective hand washing among children.
Global Hand Washing Day is celebrated on the 15th of October annually to campaign, motivate and mobilize people around the world to inculcate the habit of hand washing to prevent diseases. Simple behavioral changes such as hand washing with soap is cited as a sure way to reduce childhood mortality rates caused by respiratory and diarrhea diseases. Marking this year's Hand Washing Day, NP Gandor Limited, in partnership with Telid Moms, educated pupils at the Airport Police A and B basic schools on the basic and effective ways of hand washing with soap and the running water before eating and after using the toilet. The Assistant Marketing Manager at NP Gandor Limited, Mr. Christopher Odro, highlighted some importance of hand washing.
Thousands of children die because of infections. So we are here to take out as a corporate social responsibility to educate the children how to wash their hands.
The founder of Telid Moms, Mrs. Shaida Wari Nubi, emphasized the need to instill the habit of hand washing in the younger generation. Some of the pupils shared what they have learned from participating in the exercise.
I've learned that if you wash your hands, you get cholera. If you wash your hands with soap, you cannot get diseases such as cholera. So you'll be healthy every time.
Hand sanitizers and overcoats were presented to the obstetric and gynecology department of the Kolibu Teaching Hospital to help them in their campaign for preventive health care.
So on health, the general public has been cautioned to beware of quack eye specialists who mount tents or advantage points to administer eye care. Optometrists say the public must ensure that whoever is doing the check-in is a specialist. A report by Sarah Ofori. The absence of regular checkups predisposes the eyes to diseases such as glaucoma, cataract and refractive errors. In Ghana, the prevalence of blindness is said to be 0.7% of the population. Also, recent ophthalmology reports indicate that 90% of those requiring medicated glasses or lenses do not own one. Another problem is the presence of quack eye specialists who exploit the public.
We have a lot of quacks in the system. That's also another menace we are all trying to overcome. where somebody just set up under a tent, has no knowledge about, even he's not a specialist, nothing, and just sits and give glasses to people.
The quacks have already made medicated glasses for reading and sight. Licensed optometrists, however, prescribe lenses only based on advanced diagnosis. The glasses here ranges between 15 and 40 cedis, while that of professional optometrists could cost a minimum of 100 Ghana cedis. On the occasion of World Sight Day, which is marked on the second Thursday in October every year, clients trooped in to have their eyes checked.
I'm studying to be a translator, and so I think my eyes are very important to me, so I'll have to make sure that they are intact all the time.
Because it was free, I figured I should come and do it just in case I have any problem with my eye.
About 80% of all blindness are said to be preventable.
Contact lenses, some are medicated and some are cosmetic. This one, for instance, is a cosmetic one, and medicated one you have to be checked first, tested, and thorough eye test first before you use it, including the medicated one.
Health experts say intense and prolonged exposure to computers and electronic gadgets could also lead to a condition known as the computer vision syndrome, where the eyes feel strained and dry. Sarah Furi, GBC24, Accra.
Well, now in business, as part of their 10th anniversary celebration, Star Life Assurance Ladies Association has donated some hospital equipment, including 2 patient monitors and 2 delivery beds to the Mamobi General Hospital in Accra. The items, worth over 27,000 Ghana cedis, are to assist in healthcare delivery.
Star Life Assurance Company Limited is one of the leading insurance companies that offer a wide range of life assurance products designed to meet the financial security needs of the general public. Star Life Assurance has over the years delivered value-added services to its valued clients, making it one of the preferred life companies in Ghana. It has also since its establishment supported the communities where they operate. As part of its 10th anniversary celebrations, the Ladies Association of the company supported the Mamobi General Hospital. The president of the Star Life Ladies Association, Madam Joanna Akwaku, explained the choice of Mamobi General Hospital in the maternity ward in particular.
We chose to undertake this project to help in the well-being of women especially. And then since we have relocated our head office at airport, which is now Yawasu district, we chose the Mamobi Polyclinic to come and do this donation here.
Receiving the items on behalf of the hospital, the medical superintendent of the hospital, Dr. Dorcas Okine, thanked Star Life Ladies for the kind gesture.
I'd like to say a big thank you, heartfelt gratitude from my heart and from my soul. In fact, from all of his managers, also presenting management and our staff. Thank you so much for this wonderful gift you've given us.
Pregnancy School, Communicating with Pregnant Women and Their Families, is a book that demonstrates innovative ways of improving communication between health workers and pregnant women and their families during antenatal and postnatal periods. It was written by Dr. Linda Amakai Van Otu, the wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Matilde Misa Arthur, who launched the book, said the safety tips in it ensure safe delivery of baby and mother.
The Pregnancy School book provides a practical, easy-to-read gynecological references and tips on antenatal and postnatal routine, as well as the author's personal encounters with pregnant women. Also contained in the book are the experiences of women who have gone through the Pregnancy School. All this is to help the reader discover best practices associated with pregnancy and childbirth. The book also serves as a guide for frontline health workers on how to communicate effectively with pregnant women and their families between antenatal and postnatal periods. The author, Dr. Linda Van Otu, who is also the Greater Accra Regional Director of the Ghana Health Service, says she developed the passion to ensure safety in pregnancy and childbirth after losing her first baby more than 20 years ago.
The objectives of the Pregnancy School include to provide relevant information on pregnancy and newborn care in a friendly manner to our clients and to their families. And then also to involve relevant stakeholders in the work that we do, which will lead to uptake of interventions, including family planning.
Launching the book, the wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Matilda Mr. Arthur, said, due to lack of knowledge, a lot of pregnant women go through difficulty and some even lose their lives and their babies, and therefore the pregnancy school book is long overdue.
I believe this book is not only for pregnant women and for health practitioners, but it's for each and every one of us. Because each one of us who has a pregnant woman living with us has a role to play in looking after that pregnant woman and the baby.
Among other benefits, the pregnancy school book serves as a teaching material for pre-service health trainees and practicing nurses, midwives, and medical officers. Theodora Medeto, GBC24, Accra.
The Osu Traditional Council has commended the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation GBC for leading the campaign to ensure peace before, during and after the 2016 general elections. The Osu Traditional Authorities are the landlords or custodians of the land on which GBC is located. The council's meeting with management of the state broadcaster was for the two entities to know each other well and work together for the common good of the nation.
Being landlords of the public broadcaster, it becomes important for leadership of the Osu Traditional Council and management of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation to interact from time to time to know how best they could support each other. The Osu Manche and President of the Council, Ni Okwei Kinka Dowuna, commended GBC for spearheading the campaign on peaceful elections and promised the Council's commitment to support the campaign on the payment of TV license fees.
Anytime we tune our TVs and we see the peace icon on our TVs telling us that we need peace, and it's something that we can't do away with, because after the elections we still have Ghana, so we need to preserve it now and make sure after the elections we still have the peace in the country. We've heard about your TV license, and we know without revenue, you can bring us quality programs and you can do quality things on TV. So the stool has taken it upon itself to promote it. And today that we're here, most of our citizens are here who are willing to even come and pay the TV license, to register and then pay the TV license.
The chairman of the Political Broadcast Committee of GBC, Mr. Ebenezer Mpabin, encouraged all political parties to take advantage of the free airtime given to them to propagate their messages. The Director of Audit at GBC, Mr. Peter Opoku Mensah, also made a comment in that regard.
We will continue to provide our platform for peace messages to be aired and propagated so that there will be peace in the country again before, during, and after the election. I also like to take the opportunity to also congratulate you for the role you are playing in trying to get the people to honor their social and civil responsibility. We do appreciate, and we will make sure that you get the necessary recognition on our platform as among one of the few chiefs who are helping GBC to raise enough funds to fund our public service broadcasting. And management too will continue to support Obonu TV, which propagates the values, the culture and aspiration of the people of the Ghana area. We will continue to do it.
Members of the council were later taken round GBC studios and newsrooms.
The Upper East Regional Minister Albert Abungo has urged MMDAs to allow the substructures and local governance to function effectively and efficiently in accordance with the Local Government Act 462/1993 and Act 656/2003. Speaking at a local government forum in the Upper East region, Mr. Albert Abungo said this will deepen decentralization at the grassroots.
Participation in local governance continues to be a challenge as most people in the grassroots have a passive attitude towards citizens' participation in local governance. The Local Government Forum was, however, the first ever regional forum organized by the Ministry of Local Government in collaboration with TERI and the Robert Bosch Foundation of Germany, GIZ. It was to afford citizens the opportunity to discuss local governance issues, focusing on opportunities, challenges and the level of citizens' participation at the local level. The Chief Executive of TERI, Professor Avia Enso, said the lives of the citizenry can be made better through a functioning local government system.
TRGF was developed to address serious challenges of desensitization program, such as the passiveness of citizens. And of course, the MDCs and MMDCs and DCDs are aware that there's so much overdependence of the local government system on central government, making it very difficult for the system to operate, as we all are aware.
The principal advisor of TERI, Gerhard Lauth, urged citizens to take governance into their own hands, emphasizing that a key requirement for improvement in development is citizen participation. The Upper East Regional Minister urged MMDAs to establish working relations with organizations such as TERI that champion the cause of local governance to enhance development in the communities.
It is, however, a truism that most of the substructures were not functioning, and where they seem to be functioning, they lack the basic capacity. As a measure to enhance the operationalization of these substructures, the Local Government Service has mandated metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies to ensure their operationalization.
Some participants shared their views on citizen participation.
Come and provide your communal labor, you do so without hesitation. If it is for you to pay a levy, for them to be able to provide facilities for common good, you have to be part of it.
It is good we go back home and then educate our local women in the market to see the importance of paying their taxes.
The forum brought together representatives of civil society organizations, youth, women's group, assembly members, as well as political party representatives.
Thank you very much for staying on. The Progressive People's Party, PPP, has debunked claims by the Electoral Commission that the party has engaged in forgery. Addressing the media in Accra, the policy advisor of the PPP, Mr. Kofi Asamoah-Sian, says the party has raised other issues on discrimination and selective justice by the EC.
The first two issues raised by the Progressive People's Party, PPP, is the case of forgery and compliance with the political party's law. The policy advisor of the PPP, Mr. Kofi Asamoah-Sian, said the Electoral Commission has rather faulted.
The statutory declaration form for presidential candidate requires that the candidates declare under oath that they have declared their assets. In this particular instance, there was evidence before the commission that some of the candidates had not declared their assets, and yet they went ahead to swear an oath before a judge, a notary public, or a commissioner of oath that they have done so. In fact, some of them rejected this requirement publicly. While we all know that lying under oath is a criminal offense under the laws of Ghana, and the punishment is a maximum of 10 years imprisonment. And this can be found in the Criminal and Other Offences Act 1960, Act 30. Yet the Electoral Commission went ahead to receive the nomination form with cheers and enthusiasm. Is this not a matter of selective justice? The deputy chair of the Electoral Commission made it abundantly clear that, quote, all political parties should ensure that the requested information is received by the Commission by the close of work on 31st May 2016, failing which sanctions will be applied in accordance with law. The Progressive People's Party complied fully with this directive from the Electoral Commission, while other political parties disregarded it.
He explained other issues raised by the party.
As provided by Regulation 8(1)(b) of the Public Election Regulation 2016 CI 94, the PPP complied and made the deposit before 12 p.m. as directed. We wish to put on record that the receipt the EC gave the PPP on 10th October 2016 was fraught with mistakes, major mistakes. Could you imagine that the amount the EC quoted in words is different from what was quoted in figures? Apart from this, on the same receipt, the EC wrote, being payment of parliamentary candidate, parliamentary emphasis on parliamentary candidate filing fee, as if payment was made for only one parliamentary candidate. Clearly, we have every reason to believe that the EC had set itself on a course for a possible fraudulent act, and we have therefore written to the Auditor General and the Economic and Organized Crime Office to investigate this matter and prosecute the perpetrators if deemed necessary. Does this not mean that it is possible for everyone to make administrative errors? There was no page 46, and that district is a Equapim North district and one other district, in the nomination forms we received from the EC. However, we in the PPP did not take them to task that the nomination form was illegal and doesn't qualify to be received. We called the EC to notify them, and they proposed an antidote to this error. If the PPP had engaged the Electoral Commission to correct this blunder, why can't the EC reciprocate as demanded by Regulation 9 of CI 94?
The Progressive People's Party is therefore urging the National Peace Council, the Christian Council and the Ghana Bar Association to get the EC to rescind its decision to disqualify the party.
Welcome back in Business Tonight. Maritime professionals in the country have backed a proposal by the government to revive the national shipping line, the Black Star Line. The professionals, however, are asking government to show commitment and ensure inclusion and participation of qualified and experienced maritime professionals in policy formation, technical operation and managerial role to ensure the success of the shipping line when it is revived.
6 months after Ghana's independence, the national shipping line, the Black Star Line, was born. Other entities such as Tema and Takoradi Harbours, the Shipyard, State Fishing Corporation and the Nautical College were established to fully exploit resources in the shipping and marine subsector. Factors such as interference from government, poor management and marketing strategies and lack of innovation led to the collapse of the Black Star Line. A few weeks ago, President Mahama announced proposals to revive the shipping line, a move the maritime professionals have hailed. They say, however, that the announcement should not remain a mere promise.
Much as we appreciate the desire of government to try to revamp the national shipping line and the dry dock, our appeal to government is that the desire should translate to a mission and a vision to achieve the ultimate for the betterment of the maritime sector in Ghana.
According to the first vice chairman of the maritime professionals, Engineer Teddy Mensah, Ghana is better placed today to run an effective national shipping line.
There are lessons to be learned from countries like Singapore, whose economy thrives on developing a well-resourced and vibrant shipping hub, which provides a wide range of services and tanker support for all types of marine transport, as well as oil and gas industry. Government needs to strategize and enact policies aimed at redirecting and enhancing the total development of all resources in the maritime industry in Ghana.
The maritime professionals say the maritime sector has a huge benefit, but Ghana is only reaping 30% of the total economic benefits accruing from the sector.
While Samsung says the total cost of pulling Galaxy Note 7 smartphones off the market will be at least $5.4 billion, the South Korean tech giant had already lowered its third quarter profit guidance by $2.3 billion. On Friday, it said it expected an additional hit of about 3.5 trillion won. Snap Incorporated, owner of messaging app Snapchat, has moved a step closer to listing its shares on the stock market after settling on which banks will help with the flotation. Sources close to the deal confirmed Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs would underwrite the initial public offering IPO. Several other banks will be involved in the complex process. The IPO is expected to value the company at $25 billion. Welcome back to the sports segment. The national under-17 women's football team, the Black Maidens, are back from the under-17 Women's World Cup held in Jordan. This follows their 2-1 defeat by their Korean counterparts in the quarter-final stage.
Ghana's Black Maidens were eliminated from the Under-17 Women's World Cup in Jordan following a 2-1 defeat to Korean DPR in Arabrid on Thursday. The Maidens had lost to Japan, the Korean rivals in Asia, at the beginning of the tournament and were expecting to beat the 2008 Under-17 champions. On the return, the head coach of the team, Mr. Evans Adote, said they encountered few challenges and therefore had to make some changes before the tournament. He also mentioned that their preparation was nowhere to be compared to the other teams, and so they had to put in more effort.
Our preparation was not the best, so we traveled to Jordan ahead of the tournament, a week ahead of the tournament, to go and continue the preparation. When we go to Jordan and the other teams came in, we realized that our preparation was the lowest there, but the little that we had in Jordan helped us to get to where we got to.
The captain of the Black Maidens, Sandra Owusu-Ansah, emphasized that they were hoping to bring the trophy home, but did not know what led to their defeat in their last game.
Before leaving for Jordan, we were hoping to bring the trophy home, or at least play second or third, but we couldn't make it.
Coach Adote thanked Ghanaians for their prayers and support during the tournament.
Britain's Andy Murray is through to the finals of the Shanghai Masters after securing a comfortable 6-4, 6-3 victory over Giles Simmons. However, bitter rival and world number 1 Novak Djokovic crashed out of the competition after he suffered a devastating 6-4, 6-4 loss to world number 19 Bautista Agut. Chelsea and Arsenal both secured wins in match day 8 of the English Premier League. Manchester City were, however, held to a 1-1 draw at the Etihad Stadium. Here are some highlights.
The Ghana Broadcasting Corporation GBC has been honored at the maiden edition of the Tourism Hall of Fame Awards.
The award was in recognition of the corporation's immense contribution in the promotion of tourism in the country. The event, which was held at the Banquet Hall, State House, had the theme, Tourism, Our Heritage for National Development.
The colorful events saw patrons adorned in their traditional clothing. The awards, which were in 3 categories, saw individuals, corporate bodies and the media receiving awards for their contribution in promoting tourism in the country. Over 15 individuals received awards under the Special Recognition Lifetime Achievement Awards category. The event also saw the Ghana Tourism Federation, Golden Tulip and the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation GBC, among others, taking home awards. The Ghana Dance Ensemble entertained audience with some traditional dance. The president of the Ghana Tourism Federation, GATOF, Nana David Enim, received the Golden Award. Chief Director at the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Nana Odu Kwatin, called on the private sector to invest in tourism.
Tourism is largely and public sector-led, private sector-driven activity. I therefore wish to appeal to the tourism private sector to develop much more interest in the current development plan, make their inputs and ensure its successful execution. Government on its part is committed to the development of the sector, notwithstanding competing interests for the national kitty. Government continues to make the right intervention in the sector.
The Assistant Head of TV License, Mr. Felix Okan Amankwa, who received the award on behalf of GBC, assured that GBC will be more effective in promoting the culture of the country to attract tourists.
And that's all in the news for now. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good evening.